What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone for another live transfer live, whatever you want to call it. It's not going to be a long one because I'm not feeling 100%. But there is some news to. Let me get this out of the way. There's some news to discuss, and it's about Fresneda, as you can see on the thumbnail. So we're going to talk about him a little bit. I'm gonna bring up Rabiot because that's also in the news. A little bit, and I'll talk about the game a little bit again because it's not going to be a very long live today. Let me get this out of the way. Okay. Yeah. Oops, that's wrong. So, Fresneda. That's talk. That's the talk at this moment in time, because according to Daniele Longo, who tweeted out yesterday around this time that we would have talks with his agent today, and then about 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock p.m. my time, the news came out from is it Mate Moreto, who has been doing a decent job. Like, he kind of missed on the Di Maria deal. He basically said it was done with Barcelona, and maybe it was done with Barcelona because we all had that feeling at one time, that he was going to join Barcelona. So maybe he, jumped the gun there. But he tweeted also out that, I'll bring it up now. Let me see. I don't have it. Okay. Okay, so he tweeted out, Juve will meet with Fresnedda's entourage in the coming hours, so that was a few hours ago, to see if they can get ahead of the Premier League competition. And then Daniele Longo added, Fresneda and the agent are looking for a move in January, which is a new thing. It's a new element to the talks, I guess, because, excuse me, if he wants to leave in January, then if you really want him, you're gonna need to make a bid, because Newcastle are reportedly pushing for him, and yeah, I mean, the biggest question mark is now tomorrow, because tomorrow the board, and all those things get announced, and it starts to come up a little bit. But today they all got officially released, or whatever you want to call it, the final day for all of them. But to make a signing, there needs to be someone who can sign it off, of course. Like, there's no one at the club at this moment in time who can sign off that Fresneda deal. So you need to wait, obviously, but you can start talks. And again, do we need a right back? Well, yeah, I think we need two, and we need two left backs. Like, let's start with one. So we do need a right back, 100% sure. Is he the right option? I don't know. Again, I've watched 75 minutes against Real Madrid. That's the only time. I'm not gonna go compilation style, because I saw a lot of compilations on Twitter. It will take a lot of editing, but I can probably make Mckennie look like a very good player in a compilation, even based on this season's clips. So I'm not gonna go off compilations, but that game against Real Madrid, it was impressive. He was. So I only have that thing going on with me, and I read a scouting report or whatever from someone on Twitter on him, and that's basically all I have. That's all I have. So I cannot say get him, at all costs, because I don't have enough information on him. What I do know is that our current right backs stink. That I know for certain. Whoever you play in that position, they're just not good enough. And some of them, basically all of them, haven't been good enough for months, years, whatever you want to call it. So that's a fact that I do know, and I do know something needs to change. But I still don't believe we're gonna do anything in January. I just don't, and I know that final part from Daniele Longo saying that they're looking for a move in January kind of worries me a little bit, because I'm not having the feeling we're gonna do anything in January. I had that during the World Cup. It completely disappeared now. It excuse me. It's gone. Like there's not even a slight hope that we're gonna sign someone in January. I just don't. I'm just not picking up those. How do you want to call it? Vibes or whatever you want to say. So that's the worry point. The second point you need to worry about is Newcastle have a lot of money, more money than we have. Like it is what it is. Now, the thing we have going for ourselves, and maybe against us, what we have against us is that we are in a very difficult situation as a club. Are we appealing to any player at this moment in time, and especially a player who isn't proven and needs to grow a lot still? Is that something he wants to jump into? I'm not sure. Now, what we have going for us is, or should have going for us, he's gonna play. Like if he comes in, he needs to play because again, the right back position it's bad, even the left back. But anyway, it's bad. So you can maybe convince him, and I saw Hanin talking about it on Twitter, by saying you're gonna be the main guy over here. Is he gonna be there at Newcastle? I don't know. But for sure, he'll have a big shot with us because whoever plays on that right hand side is a Cuadrado. He's gonna leave. He's free agent. The Chilio plays there at times. If he's fit, whatever. He's just not good enough. He's never fit. I've seen Danilo slot in there, but he's been moved to center back now. So there is room for him. Like there is the option to be and become the main guy. But other than that, my biggest fear is the situation of the club because it's all over the place. Like we have no idea what's gonna happen. The club puts out a statement yesterday, rightfully so, because I saw that Rai report, and I mean, it went the way you thought it could. Like you were thinking it possibly could. It went that way and even worse because they were factually incorrect. Like they quoted things wrong. They didn't know the right dates, and so on. So it was a complete mess. So it's good that the club put out that statement or whatever you want to call it, reply to the report. But it also proves that we are still, in a very obscure moment because nobody knows what's gonna happen. So I'm not sure how you're gonna convince the agent of a young, talented, promising player to come in that quote unquote mess, whatever. I don't know. It's a very strange period because if it was last season or any normal January for that regard, I would be like, yeah, we're gonna get him, we're gonna push for him and we have a big shot. But now I'm like, are we? I'm not having the feeling. Would I take him? Yeah, he's 18 or 19, or I think he's 18. I think that's the profile we should be looking at, not 22 players being 18. I'm not saying that, but we're moving on aging players, and you need to bring in kind of cheap younger players. They don't need to be 18. Like 24 is still young, by the way. Even 26 is young. I still think 28 is young for a midfielder or a center back. I think that's still very young. But whatever. But it needs to be players as much as possible we can sell on with value should they decide to leave. Because if you read news as Smalling, like I want to throw up. When I read Smalling news, it makes me throw up. It's like we're wasting money for what? To get a backup? Because he can be the starter if you want to get to those levels again. So those things cannot happen. But I don't know. I don't know, man. It's one of those names, Fresneda. We're being linked to it, but I don't have a feeling it's something serious. And we have had that in the past, in the in the summer with players we're being linked with, but you have a feeling like, yeah, that's just not gonna happen. You know, it's just not a player we actually are looking at, and you just have the feeling basically. I have the same feeling with Fresneda at this moment in time. Excuse me. But let's see. Let's see. Let me bring up some comments. I cannot pronounce your name, but I do know you believe in the Scudetto, which I'm gonna call it as wild. It's wild, but good for you. Edgar saying Fresneda is the direction we should be going. He will help us play from the back and beat the press. Again, I've seen 75 minutes. He's very good defensively. Going forward, he needs improving on. It's not bad, but it's not, how do you want to say that? Like spectacular. But defensively, he looked very good in that cameo I saw. That's that. Before I move on, Julian is right. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. We will be back live tomorrow with the Monza preview, so stay tuned for that. Let me see. Hypothetically, Fresneda comes in and we switch to a back four. Who plays left back? Danilo has to play center back with Bremen. Alexandro can't play too many games, or else he's extended. That's a good point. Again, today also I saw a report. Was it from Gazzetta dello Sport? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it was Gazzetta dello Sport, but it didn't tweet it out and saying Allegri found a new formation to kind of turn it around, and it was a 4-3-3 with Di Maria and Chiesa. I'm like, and Vlahovic up top. I'm like, he needed to look for that. Like, you have one proven world-class player, one potential world-class player, and a potential world-class striker. I mean, you really needed to look for that. I mean, that's why I didn't tweet it out, because I was reading the article. I'm like, Jesus Christ, like, you needed to find that out. Like, wasn't that obvious? I don't know. So I hope it's a lot of, BS. Not hope, it should be, because a coach like Allegri shouldn't be waking up on the 17th of January or whatever and be like, hey, you know what? I have world-class players up top. Maybe I need to play them in their position. Wow. Shocking. Breaking news. But whatever. Edgar is saying Fresneda's agent will take the offer. Why? Because Fresneda would almost be guaranteed a starting berth at a big club in Europe. Yeah, but you never know. There were other teams also looking at Guimaraes, and he went to Newcastle, or Botman. It is what it is. Like, you never know, but you might have a point there. A single out of our price range? I don't think so. I don't think so. But that's something for the summer. Torino are not gonna let their player go in January, especially. I say to a rival, but city rival, they're not gonna do it. They're not gonna do it. So in that regard, I don't think it's out of our price range, but it's not for January. But he is being linked with us, and I do like Singo. He's not having as good as a season as last season, but I still like him. Could he be the main guy for many years in a starting 11? I don't believe so. That's why I'm a bit hesitant. Again, I don't know much about Fresneda, so I can be completely wrong. What I like about Fresneda is his age, his profile, what he's good at, because Allegri is still the coach, and from what I've seen in a little bit of a cameo, and his price. Like, excuse me, his price is reportedly 18 to 50 mil, if it's still what it is. That's relatively cheap, so that's that. Let me see. Onion is saying not over price range, last year of contract, and he's not great. No, he's not a world beater, but I do like Singo. I do like him. But it's not for January. I just don't believe it. Let me see. Juve can offer a 1-year loan with an option to buy, which can be vetoed by the player for Fresneda in June and January 24. In case investigation goes south, this will Private. Yeah, that's not gonna happen because if we do that type of deal, we will get banned. Like we will. If we pull off something sus like that, we will get banned. We will be looked into it even more. So that deal is not gonna happen. You cannot come up with that type of deal at this moment in time because, well, I read it out. I understand the thought process, but if the club announced that type of deal now, I don't want to know what's gonna happen because they're looking in weird things already now. So imagine what they're gonna do if you bring up that type of deal. But yeah, I'm a fan of his. I think he's got some good attributes. Oh, single. I do like him. I still like him. Juve should be on top of Fresnedda's list of teams because he will be an instant starter. Okay, people in the chat, everybody who's here, by the way, thank you. It's not going to be a very long one because I'm not feeling well. Please like the video, but also answer this question because everybody's saying we can pursue him to come because he's going to be the starter, instant starter. How many people who are watching this now can say 100% yes, he's going to be a starter, being 18 years old, coming from a different league under Allegri, whilst he still has Quadrado, who's back fit. So let me know in the comments who thinks, because I don't believe that, by the way. That's why I'm very hesitant with the deal, or like with the news surrounding him. Hey, speaking of Robio and free agents in general, here's a list of free agents who are out of contract this summer. Can you go through some names and say who's a realistic target for us? Hold that thought because we're gonna make a video, me and Julian, anytime soon about that because we did that last year and we pulled off Di Maria. If it's a good thing or a bad thing, who knows? You tell me. But me and Julian are gonna do a video about that. But if you do have any names, drop them in the comments and I will write them down and we will discuss them. I don't believe that Allegri will start him over Quadrado. I don't think that he will be a starter because Allegri don't trust you. Quadrado will play more. Hanin says no starter. Quadrado will be low. But Quadrado's gone in 6 months. I think so. I know Quadrado's gone in 6 months, but he will squeeze every single drop of whatever, like energy out of him until the end of the season. He will. So that's why I'm very, very, very hesitant in believing that he's going to drop Quadrado and he's going to play the 18-year-old coming from a different league. Like, I'm very, very hesitant. I am. Let me see the comments because they're not all coming through. So let me see. Okay. Andrew said I would play him over Quadrado, yes. Max probably wouldn't play him as a starter though. I would too because I've not seen enough from Fresneda, but I have seen enough from Quadrado to know that he's not the answer. Like, I don't want to hear he tracks back. I've seen so many stinkers this season and last season, like costing us going forward and costing us even there. Like, what more do you need to see from him in those 6 months that will make you be like, oh, he helped us out? Because when is the last time he helped us out? Yes, and he got a winner here and there, but like overall, it's been poor. Like, and I'm being very nice for Quadrado because I do like Quadrado, and he had, I think, a very good time at the club, and he had fantastic moments, and I like Quadrado. But ever since the return of the friendlies last season for that Napoli game, it's been downhill fast, and he's not gonna come up that hill again. Like, it's done. Like, he's done. Let me see. I have no clue about even Fresneda. Yeah, a lot of people have never watched him play, which is okay. If you're being honest, why would most players want to join our current situation? That's what I said yesterday about in the video from Del Piero. Del Piero said, "Don't blame Allegri, blah blah blah," and I said I agree with not sacking him now because who the hell wants to come into this? Yeah, you might get a coach who's like, oh my god, I got the opportunity to coach Juve, but a coach with a reputation on the line, he's not gonna come in this mess in January because there's so many question marks surrounding players, surrounding the club. So I agree. Like, I don't think signing players is very easy at this moment in time. He will add a lot of playing time because they will bench Sandro to not extend his contract. But Sandro plays on the left. So don't bring in player and switch in position. Please don't do that because I don't want to see that anymore. I agree with that. The team is injury prone, but you cannot tell. I don't think you are going to convince a player in terms of sign for us because we have injury prone players. Then you're basically saying you're not really the main guy, but we have a lot of injuries, so you're going to play a lot. So I think it's very difficult to convince a player to join the club based on we have a lot of injuries. Like, it makes sense for the club and for us, but if you're a player, you don't want to hear that. You want to hear you're the main guy, you're going to be the starter now and for the coming years or whatever you want to. Oh, Napoli Cremonese 2-2. Oh, they're going to extra time. Makes me cry. We lost 5-1. And I know it's a different lineup, but still, we lost 5-1. Whatever. Let me see. Rumor has it the budget for this January was around 15-20 mil. If he buys some miracle, Mckennie gets sold for 30. It's even feasible to think we can get both Fresneda and someone like Kiwior. No, because Spezia won 20 mil for Kiwior, and that's insane. Don't do it. I think a lot of depended on what Mckennie was going to do. And I talked about Mckennie in a video that will come out tomorrow. He's probably not going to leave in January. And I'm getting a little bit of... not frustrated, but like I'm a little bit scared with the Mckennie thing because the clubs coming in for him, they have money, but they don't have the reputation Mckennie likes. Like, it's Bournemouth, it's Aston Villa, it's not Dortmund, and it's not whoever. And it's kind of put me, a little bit on alert because I think it's something to, watch out for. Because I don't know what other club is going to come in. I think that's the level of clubs that are going to look at Mckennie because he's technically not a good player. Like, he isn't. So I don't know. Maybe he needs to think about his expectations about himself, but on the flip side, he believes in himself. You cannot blame him for that. But I'm getting a little bit, scared about the situation surrounding Mckennie in terms of the clubs actually looking at him and actually ready to put a bid on him. They're not of the standards I believe that Mckennie would accept. But let's see. You never know. Does the article say how much the Fresnedda deal will approximately cost? No, but it was rumored to be between 15 and 18. I'm going to say 2 months ago. Something like that. It was during the World Cup break somewhere. Or I think it's 2 months ago. When we first got linked with him, the price is 15 to 18. Now, if Newcastle comes in, if Arsenal comes in, I don't know. Yeah, the price will go up. Like, it is how it is. That's how it works. Because in the summer, we were like, let Chelsea and Bayern compete for the Lake. It's good. At the end, it didn't happen, and it wasn't good for us. But Valladolid are going to, squeeze everything out of that deal they possibly can. Rightfully so, by the way. If the reports were true, why didn't Juve sell Rugani for 10 mil to a Turkish team last summer? Because I don't believe those reports were true. I saw that news back then. I don't believe they want to offer. It was Galatasaray. They didn't want to offer 10 mil. And on top of that, Rugani didn't want to leave. Like, he didn't want to leave the country. It is what it is. It is what it is. So, yeah. Hanin says he has a lowest release clause. I saw that. I read that. Was it in Sport or AS? One of the two. But they didn't mention the fee. So I'm assuming they think 15 to 18 is low. Because they didn't mention a fee, or I didn't see a fee. But I saw that. I'm just thinking it's 15 to 18 because that's cheap these days. I'm not sure. But if you know the fee they reported, let me know. Because I saw that, but they didn't, like what I read. There was no fee involved in the article I saw. But if you have one, let me know. Let me see. Mckennie would do well at Liverpool. Wait, what? Mckennie would do well at Liverpool. High press and try to win the ball. Make a simple pass, and that's basically it. Yeah, but I've seen Mckennie trying to make simple passes. If you, yes, and I saw at the World Cup he had a good game, but how many players have good games in the World Cup? Then the return. Amrabat, like a beast at the World Cup. When he plays in Serie A, he's not the same player. Like I saw the hype and I'm like, yeah, he played well, but like in Serie A, he's not a player where I'm like, oh my god, one of the best midfielders in Serie A. He's just not, you know. On the ball, Mckennie is poor, man. Like he is really, really poor. Like for playing at this level, it's actually a bit worrying in that position that he's so bad on possession. So I'm gonna say no. Like he's not like he's not a Liverpool Klopp type of player. I just don't see it. I don't see it. But yeah, I think Rugani is a very good man marker. Just don't play him as a defensive leader. Just give him man marking, and we're fine. Very good man marking. Yeah, you can do that somewhere else, but not at the club. I don't want to pay a guy 3.5 mil to be the backup, but the only thing he can do is man mark. Like there's more to it, you know. And he has his good games here and there, but like it's easier or like easier. If he's gonna play 30 games, he will have a lot of iffy games. If he plays 8 games, there probably will be fewer iffy games compared to good games, if that makes sense. But overall, he's on too much money for the quality he showed over the years. Like it is what it is. He needs to move out. Same for Bonucci, and it's not gonna happen at the same summer. But they need to leave. Like they need to leave. I wish Leeds could come in, offer 35 for Mckennie. I would even doubt Mckennie would accept that. Like he's looking for a team like Dortmund, like prestige. And I know Leeds are a big club, or used to be a big club. They are, but like on the pitch, not anymore. I think he's looking for something completely different. That's why I'm slightly worried. I know Mckennie's bad, but the only team he could thrive in are high pressers. Yeah. I think if Klopp sees a compilation of Mckennie, he's gone. He's so poor in possession. Like yeah, you can press, but you need to be good in possession still, especially at Liverpool. You need to have some ability, and I don't know, with the intensity of the Premier League, I'm already fearing for Mckennie. Whatever. I don't want to talk about Mckennie. It's already bad enough that he's playing over Fajoli at this moment in time. Like, he came back, and Fajoli got dropped out of the team, which is mad because Mckennie played a few games now in 23, and I cannot recall him playing. Like, I'm that serious. Like, if you think about the games we play in 23, it's like Mckennie has not been on the pitch. If you're being completely honest, like he has no impact at all. In certain games, you don't even hear him. Maybe that's a good thing, you might say, at this moment in time. But like, oh my god, he's having an awful season, an awful 23 in my opinion. But again, you never know. Maybe tomorrow Dortmund comes in with an offer, which I very highly doubt. But who knows? Like last season, a week before the end of the transfer window, we were sitting here talking about Asmun and Icardi on loan, and then a few days later we have Vlahovic and Zakaria. So who knows? Mckennie would thrive in the EPL. They do not focus on technique or tactics there. Lots of physicality, high intensity and speed. So Mckennie would be a hero there. Oh, you're pushing it now. A hero? No, man. You would not. Like, I'm sorry, I disagree with that. For what team? Like he's not good enough for Liverpool. And I know Liverpool are not in a difficult situation, but he's not good for Liverpool. Like he's just not. I know what you're saying, high intensity, but technically he's poor. Like he's very average technically. Like that's not gonna cut it at Liverpool. Like no way. Like it's just not. I'm sorry. Um, his Spurs level, even there, like yes, I don't know. Yeah, he's not better than Bentancur. Bissouma is having a terrible season. Who else is in midfield? Is it Doherty? Or was no the Danish guy? What's his name? I forgot his name. He's not having a good season, especially after his World Cup break. He came back to Tottenham and he's not playing well. Højbjerg, yeah, he's not playing well. But even there, like I don't like imagine a midfield of Betancourt, Højbjerg, and Mckennie. Oh my god. Imagine being a Tottenham fan. Actually, Betancourt is playing well, but like that's a lot of yellow cards and whatever, just vibes, pressing, but technical ability poor. So I don't wish that on Tottenham fans, to be honest, to have that midfield. I don't even, and that makes me think. Now I'm thinking about it. Besides Dortmund, who's going to come in for Mckennie to convince him to leave? Because he's basically saying no to Bournemouth and Aston Villa and those teams. He's reportedly waiting on Dortmund. But other than Dortmund, which team is going to come in that could convince him? A team of that level, or like statue, magnitude, whatever. I've actually no idea. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. But I do believe he's gonna leave. I think his time is done. I think that's obvious. No, I think he's the main guy at the top of one of the guys at the top of the list to be moved on. Also because he has some value, and we need to recoup some money basically. But yeah, I saw a price. Before I'm gonna wrap it up, let me know in the comments how much do you think Mckennie is worth, because the newspapers are switching it every day, and so are fans, to be honest. So let me know in the comments how much you think he's worth, Mckennie, in today's market. I'm gonna say, and it's maybe because I've watched him play for a few years now, if we can get 27 mil plus maybe 1 or 2 bonus, it's amazing. And I don't even think we're gonna get 27 mil. I think we're just gonna get our money back. I think that's already a big win if we get our money back, because did he improve? I don't know, because I've not watched him play at Schalke, so I'm gonna go out on a limb and say yes. Also because he's been put on a higher stage. Nobody was really looking at him at Schalke, so yes, he improved. But did he improve so much that a club will be like, here you go, 30 mil cash? I don't see it. I will be absolutely shocked if we pull off 27 for him. I will be very, very happy. I would, because let's be honest, if you watch him play, and he's not playing for us, like let's say, I don't know, let's say he was playing for Dortmund and you were watching Dortmund regularly and you watched Mckennie play, and then the rumor comes up that the club wants to pay 30 mil, we will be going absolutely mad. We will be like, what? That's crazy. So I'm putting myself in the shoes of the buyer, and he's probably going to be like, 30 mil, because that's what we want apparently. Tuttosport saying 35. We're not going to get 35. If we pull that off, oh my god. 20, 25, 20. Hanin says he's worth 0, but I'll take 30. Well, I'll take even more than 30. Overall 30, right now 15. He's worth 25 mil only for commercial reasons in the US market. Sporting wise, he's worth 10. Why don't we go crazy and try to get Joao Felix in the summer? I think Vlahovic maybe blossom with, because Atletico won 100 million euros, and what Felix has shown over the last years doesn't scream 100 million. His talent does, but the performance is not. So if it's not Chelsea, I don't think anyone is going to pay 100 mil for Joao Felix. So I think that's the reason. Also, his wages are almost 10 million euros apparently. So that's probably not gonna happen, is it? But I'm gonna wrap it up. Before I do, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, go watch the video I made on Del Piero. There will be another one out tomorrow talking about Garnacho. So I didn't talk about Garnacho. Yeah, I didn't. But I made a video on that tomorrow. That will come out tomorrow, and then we will be live, me and Julian, hopefully, if he doesn't ghost me again. We will be live for the Monza preview because we play on Thursday in the Coppa Italia. Happy days. Gonna be interesting because Monza are kind of on a good form, and we're probably gonna rest a few players here and there. So it's gonna be interesting to see how the club is gonna, or how the players are gonna react after that, disaster on Friday. So stay tuned for that. Thanks everybody for watching. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you back tomorrow, same time.